division of integers. Same numbers we were talking about with the addition and subtraction, except we're going to multiply and divide them. The rules for multiplication and division are much simpler than those for addition and subtraction. Basically, like signs give a positive answer, and unlike signs give a negative answer. So, for example, 2 times 3, or we could write it in parentheses, 2 times 3. They're both positive, so that's 6. Similarly, negative 2 and negative 3 is also 6. Could write one of them in parentheses or both of them. Unlike signs, negative 2 times 3, all those are the same thing. Unlike signs would be negative 6. And it doesn't matter which one's negative, whether it's the first one or the second one, the larger one or the smaller one. Doesn't matter. One's positive and one's negative, so the answer is going to be negative. The same thing happens with division. So if I multiply or divide, if the signs are the same, 10 divided by 5, which is the same as 10 over 5, is 2. I might also note that we say 5 into 10, and 10 divided by 5. Those are all the same. The signs are the same. 10 and 5 are both positive, so the answer is positive. Negative 10 divided by negative 5. The signs are alike, so the answer is positive. Negative 10 divided by 5, or negative 10 over 5, which is the same thing. The signs are different, so my answer is negative 2. Again, it doesn't matter which of the two is negative. The first one, the second one, the larger, the smaller. My answer is still going to be negative because the signs are different. Again, if I had the top one smaller, negative 3 over 12, I would have to either write it as a reduced fraction or as a decimal, but because the signs are different, the answer is going to be negative. Okay, so the multiplication and division rules are a little simpler. I want to also mention a couple things about the wordings of things. So if we talk about the difference, we mean subtraction. If we talk about the total or the sum, we mean addition. If we're talking about things below 0, we mean negative. So below 0, we mean negative numbers. Of course, numbers don't just have to be integers, as we saw a second ago. Above here, we saw a negative rational number, Rational means a fraction, and remember decimals are really just fractions. So we can have negative integers or negative rational numbers. So let's do an example like this. City A is 1,200 feet above sea level, while City B is 20 feet below sea level. What's the difference in their altitude? So the difference in their altitude, if we think about it, here's the sea. So here is a city up here that's 1,200 feet above sea level. And here's City B down here that's 20 feet below sea level. So if I think about this distance here, that's 1,200 feet. And this little distance here is 20 feet. So I'm going to add to find the difference. If I take those absolute distances, or I could say City A is 1,200 feet. Since it says the difference, I'm going to subtract. But what's City B? Since it's below sea level, it's negative 20. But remember, I only have a single number inside the parentheses, so I don't really need the parentheses. So those two negatives are really right next to each other. And what do two negatives next to each other? Remember, this right one is going to hop over on top of that left one and make it into a plus. So the difference is 1,220 feet. Okay, so then what will happen if we want to talk about the total of something? So example, Jay went to the horse races twice. The first time he won $50. The second time he lost $30. What was his total winnings or losses? Okay, so total, that means we're going to add. The first time he went, he won $50. Since it says total, we're going to put a plus sign. The second time he lost, so that's going to mean he went down $30. So 50 plus negative 30 is a positive 20. So he had a total of $20 of winnings. Okay. So that is a little bit about the words differences, total, and sum. The next section will be a review of order of operations.